All right, we're back at it again with the one and
Mm,
only Cale Teschner, ladies and gents. Thank you so much, brother, for being here on the call once again. And for
my
everyone
pleasure.
watching this video, please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel. And if you like the content of this video, make sure you give it a massive like or a thumbs up. So it actually boosts us in the algorithm of Facebook, and more people can actually see it, right? So the reason why we even started this series is because we want to provide value to people first and foremost, and me and Kale have a lot to share on the subject. And to be quite fair, like I've been getting really good feedback. I don't know about you, bro, but I've been getting really good feedback from people saying that we're probably
Yeah.
one of the only ones that are putting content like this out there, and that's actually valuable. So I do appreciate every single one of you that brings it
Mm.
up whenever we do a call. So that's cool, man.
No,
So
that's huge, man.
yeah, on today's call, we're gonna talk about a lot of things, but one of the main sort of like subjects of the call is how to make sure you can charge what's right, you know, in solar, like how to make sure you get paid well, because at the end of the day, that's what we're all here for. We're here to get paid, right? If you're moving to from another industry to solar to not get paid, I mean, you might not as well uh make the switch. You might as well just stay where you are. Right? But a lot of the people that are watching these videos, they're brand new to solar. They know very little about solar. They don't know like what commissions you could potentially make. And so
Right.
those are the kind of things that we'll touch on today. So
Yeah.
go ahead, bro. I mean, you can take over.
Yeah. No, hey, thanks, Avon. Appreciate you, man. Really appreciate you having me on here. Yeah, no, I'm excited. So yeah, I don't I think you get more the feedback. I actually just get a lot of people who just kind of schedule appointments, and we kind of help guide them and kind of put them on a good path, which oftentimes leads just right back to you, right? But yeah, so I think what a good topic to talk about is like earning more money per deal. And I think there's some things that we could I don't like it's not from a point of like, oh, we should make more money, but I think there's reasons behind making more money per deal that allows you the sales consultant to provide the utmost experience for that client, right? Where you actually are worth what you're charging. So I think we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I think that kind of fits kind of right, So I got a few questions for you, Yvonne, because I think you sitting on the other perspective of, from what we see, you can kind of see maybe from like a 10,000 view, because obviously you're managing the campaigns. You see what we, you know, working on a day to day, right? So I don't know what your average for your client base, what people make on average, per commission. Do you have an idea? Do people talk to you about that? Is that part of your questions when you
Oh
of your
yeah.
process?
I mean, I don't
What would you
ask.
say? Got it. Yeah. Okay. What would you say though? Like people who talk to you about that, what's the average deal, and how do you feel about how do they feel about it, and then how do you feel about what they're making?
Yeah. Well, I don't ask I don't ask what they make all the time, but I do ask that question.
Sure.
It's anywhere between 2 to 4 grand.
2 to 4 grand.
Yeah, two to
Yeah.
four grand. I mean, sometimes obviously you make more, but it's not about like when you close a big deal, like a big size system. It's about your average commission
Yeah.
per
And
deal,
that's a
right?
lot of
So
money though. Two to 4 grand is a lot of money. Like
it
it
is.
is.
No, it is.
It is a lot
It
of
is.
money.
It is a lot of money. The thing is, you probably close a deal in what, 30 minutes, 30, 45
Yeah.
minutes, something like that.
45 minutes.
Yeah,
It depends on how long that takes them to sign docs. Yeah.
right.
If they're
Um,
older.
like, yeah, it might take him a little bit longer, but but yeah, I mean, it's 2 to 4 grand, still a good pay for sure. But it's just, I don't know. You might debate me on this, but it's just I have a thing where it's like we we're in this industry because we have the capability to make, very, very good money. And I'm not saying 2 to 4 grand on a deal is it's that's bad money. That's not what I'm saying. But like I would say probably like 4 to 5 grand should be really your starting point
Right.
on a deal, right? You should not make under like let's not say 5 grand, let's say 4 grand, but you should not make under 4 grand. Like if you're making under 4 grand on a deal, for
Uh-huh.
me, I feel like you're doing something wrong. You haven't been taught the right way to sell
Mm,
solar, build
mm.
value, and all that kind of stuff. You probably touch on in a minute, but you're just doing something wrong, or you haven't. I mean, again, go back to what you know about how to present and sell, solar. Like
Yeah.
you're just missing on something, on a secret ingredient.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Yeah, I feel like I do see where you're coming from, and I agree, and I've got different reasons why I agree. And I'll share with them if it comes up. But yeah, I think if other than the fact that maybe it's a super small deal and you're,
Yeah.
I don't know what other would constitute it, because here's the thing that I've picked up on in my experience is that things come up in projects, right?
Right.
And so the
Adders,
last
right?
thing that
Adders. Yeah.
yeah, whatever it is, right? Whatever comes up. And the last thing that I want to do is have a customer re-sign documents, right? Like I want the experience for my customer to be seamless. I want them to make one decision, sign documents one time. And so I agree that making less than 4K, it makes it really hard to honor promises and honor commitments and honor integrity and honor follow through.
Uh-huh.
If you're not packing enough in the deal, because you're not able to take care of what needs to be taken care of, right?
Yeah.
So I agree 100%, right? Like I don't, I mean, I would even, I think you even said before that making 5,000, is where you should be at. I kind of think that that's a good place to be per deal. I think the average commission that guys that work with me see is going to be 6 to 8,000,
Yeah.
right? And because that's just the based on system sizes and how they're pricing it. But you know, I agree. You need to have some kind of value built into your pricing in order to deliver an utmost experience for your customers, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but here's the thing, right? Because a lot of people might say, well, what about the guy that comes over and he's competitive? Well, what would you say, Yvonne? What would you say about being competitive with other people?
Look, there's always someone out there that if you enter the vicious race to the bottom on price, like you can never win. You can almost never win. There's always someone out there that will be willing to like undermine completely. I'm talking about completely undermining their own profit margins just to push a few extra panels. And for me, that's not the right way to do business. And I would never do it. I would never do it because of the other guys in the industry. I would I wouldn't. I mean, look, that's what we're here for. At the end of the day, we're here to help homeowners and make money. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I completely undermine my own value and my own profit, right? What's happening is I'm doing the whole industry without even realizing, because one deal is not one deal. One deal turns into 2 deals, 3 deals, 4 deals, 10 deals, 100 deals.
And if
And
you've got a team, right, it
exactly. And the next
spreads.
thing you know, the whole industry suffers because of it. And I don't want to do that. I think solar is a
Mhm.
great industry, and I think we should be proud to be in it. And a good way to do that is to not to just have a set standard that we're not willing to we're not willing to break under any circumstances.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Why do you think it is people would make less than $5,000 per deal?
Most of it, I do believe that they're being taught wrong. Like they don't know how to build value, like I said previously. And number two, they haven't been taught the right way to sell solar. They don't build value. They just explain to people, what happens next. And and nothing really happens throughout that call. There's no value built. There's no nothing. I mean,
Right. It's mainly built around numbers or uh,
exactly.
something that's honestly meaningless.
Yep. And on top of that, they think, well, if I'm competitive on the
Mhm.
pricing aspect, I'm going to be able to close more deals. And that's just, I mean, I believe that to be a myth, because the way to close deals now, and here's the thing, a lot of people think it's just solar. No, it's not just solar. It's any industry. If you try to be the cheapest guy in the block, you will almost always lose the entire race.
Mm. Why is that? Is there a story behind that or?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just, first of all, you're not setting up yourself and your company for success by
Yeah.
taking very little profit, by making very little profit on a deal sold. You're not able to
Yeah.
grow as fast, right? So
Yeah.
everyone else on your team suffers because of it, because everyone has families and to feed, and and it's just, and put food on the table, and you're
Yeah.
just undermining that ability for everyone.
So what all this is making me think about, I remember, I mean, every company that I've seen charge a high price has flourished
Right.
in a market of people where they're being competitive, right? Every company that I've seen, and I'm talking about like HVAC in the middle of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Right.
Talk about a competitive market. And the most expensive company that is in that city is also the biggest.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
People aren't like, they could call Bumblebee HVAC and get half the price on the same exact HVAC unit, but they don't call Bumblebee. They call it the other company, right?
Yeah.
Why is that? I truly believe is they're not people are numbers are numbers. People are going to spend money their whole life. Money is a myth. I can't. All that stuff is a myth. Like all that stuff that you hear about there is so true. Like numbers are just numbers, right? We
Mhm.
all figure out a way to rise to the occasion. We do. We all do. It's literally like built into us, right?
Yeah,
That's
so I
our
mean, I entirely get what you're saying, man. But it's just going back to the why I do believe people just don't make more money than what they should be making is because they join. I don't want to say the wrong companies, but like there's just um very.
So that's interesting. What do you mean by that, right? They joined the wrong, like you don't want to say that they joined the wrong, but you mean like, do you think that there's a different route that they should take? Like, should they take
Oh yeah, for
more of
sure.
an independent route
For
or?
sure. I recently did a video about this. And so it's a good point you brought it up. So yeah, I mean, I do believe that. I still do believe that people take the wrong training and then their whole career just goes to hell if they don't just shake themselves off of everything that they've just learned, because in
Mhm.
most of the time in these companies it ends up being the wrong training.
Yeah.
Okay. And then your whole career is just like you go through a massive like turbulence, because you're not charging the right price, you're not presenting the right way, you're not building enough value,
Mm.
and then you don't know what to expect. And so
Yeah.
I do believe that if people have a little bit of understanding of how this industry works, they would
Mhm.
know that it's not that difficult to actually be an independent sales rep and own your own business in a sense, right? You don't
Right.
have to go out there and work for a company. Fact of the matter is, look, if you work for a company, you'll be selling the greatest commodity of your life, right? You'll be selling your time. They'll be giving you leads, but you get breadcrumbs. You
Mhm.
know, you'll be getting like very little, like peanuts in comparison to what you should be getting if you are doing this by yourself. And the
Right.
reality is It's not that difficult. And bro, I mean, how many clients we've brought on board right now that have gone through your training and they've flourished, like they've done tremendously well.
Yeah.
And those people, like I would say, I'm not sure what the exact percentage on those is, but like a very high percentage of the people that we brought on through your training and our lead generation process that have been brand new to solar, like bar
Yeah.
none, meaning like they
Like
know nothing about the industry.
to this day, and they know nothing. They still don't feel confident to close on their own, but are still having deals closed, still have deals in the pipeline pushing. So it's not like they're waiting for this ramp up period to learn to make money. They can make money while they're learning,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're while they're in the trenches, they're learning, kind of like my point before I lost my train of thought, but like they're learning in the trenches to provide value and to insulate the deal where there is value, so you can provide that value, right? Training on how we customize a design or customize adders, or we customize things in a deal to make sure that things are accounted for, that they're going to get paid what they're worth. And it's, like I said, it's always upwards above, because again,
Right.
people don't, they only buy based on the value that you provide. Like I've closed deals, and again, you need to have a certain mindset around this too, that you're only going to have certain customers, right? Like
Right.
only certain people are going to buy from you. Not everyone's going to buy from you. It's not that they're saying no to you, they're just not your customer. Like you just, like the mindset should be like you're not going to do business with them, right? So you're not going to close everybody, but you do what you got to do. You follow through, and you have this one kick that you practice and you practice and you practice, and people will buy based on the content you provided them in that kick, right? How strong it was, how sturdy it was. Do you practice all the time? Are you like perfected in your craft? Like someone will buy a higher price deal over somebody's less, based on, they know that they're buying into experience, they're buying into professionalism. They
Right.
really are. They really are. And I'm not saying that people need to charge, because $5,000 per deal isn't a crazy amount of money if you really think about the margins in solar. Like even working for somebody, that is a realistic commission working for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Like you don't, like I'm here to kind of play, like push with you a little bit on that, on the side of like, I agree with you. Like my whole program is focused on helping entrepreneurs build their own solar business, like their own sales organization, their own solar
Yeah.
company in a way, right? Like that is my focus. Like I want to duplicate through business owners. I'm not interested in having employees. If somebody
Mm-hmm.
else wants to, that's what they want to do, right? But um like I'm all so people need to what I'm trying to say, people need to, they I don't know, man. They just need to provide, like they need to know that like by providing the value and insulating the deal in that way, it's like you're gonna answer every phone call. You're gonna be there for the customer. So
Mm-hmm.
it helps you in every single way. It helps you,
Right.
helps them, helps everything, right? And if things come up, you can take care of it, right? You don't need to charge a whole bunch of money, but um, you can do pretty well. It's working for somebody that's really realistic, super realistic. If you feel like you have it in you to go build your own company, then you should do that. Like again, that's my focus, to help people. But at the same time, if you don't like, because like some people want just to be fed leads. Like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are not prepared to live on the edge of their seat. Like people want to know that there's like security. A lot of people do. And so I
Right.
think they get into 1099 sales because there's a lot of money to make, but then they end up going to somebody else's dealer or working for somebody else, because ultimately they want to make the money that 1099 provides, but they don't want to do it on their own because there's security when someone else provides the leads,
Mm-hmm.
right? When someone else provides the training, someone else provides the platform. Like that's why the hottest thing in the world is a franchise business model. Like you don't recreate the wheel, just plug in and go, right? People like a lot of people times people are not built for building something. A lot of people are built for supporting something. So I
Right.
think,
Right.
but that's why I think 5K a deal is a very fair price, man. I really do. because it does insulate a deal enough to allow you to pay for some things or to provide value. It definitely gets your attention. You want to make sure you get paid that.
Right.
Um, so I think it helps a lot of people, and it helps you, it helps your customer. And like you said, it helps the industry. Because if you're right, if I lower my prices because this guy's lowering his prices and we all lower our prices, then that means that eventually, like, we're going to be giving away nothing. We're giving away dog treats. We're giving away all the margins, and the banks are going to lower the max prices. And I don't know if they would ever do that, but yeah, I do think about that long term. Like, I do feel like there would be a pretty big effect. I do. I
I
think
mean,
we should honor ourselves,
yeah,
respect ourselves.
yeah, for sure. And then there will be, I mean, the ripple effect of more and more people finding out about the great commissions in solar. It just makes it more tempting for other people to get in the industry. And the more and more people you get in the industry, the more you're going to see like people just lowballing local companies and just underselling everyone, and just pretty much uh, trying to
Yep.
make a quick buck and
Yeah, I
bounce.
mean, shoot, it happened to me the other day, man. We had a deal closed with one of the guys that's signed up through my program that's working with you. We closed him at a pretty, I mean, at a decent price, right? It was a good price. And then the guy finds somebody who literally charges him like 281 a watt.
Oh shoot.
And it was like, what the heck? So it happens. And
281 is
and
that's before dealer fees, right?
no, like that was after. Like that was just straight up, like, yeah, like it was a terribly priced deal. Yeah,
Wow,
very bad price deal. Um,
that's crazy. That is
it was
insane.
just such a low price deal that you're just kind of almost dumbfounded by how
And
that is
again, I
even
mean,
possible.
and again, a lot of people are asking me about one thing about the pricing, as well as I like to bring up, which is I think very, very important, is that in order for you to be able to sell at a higher rate, you need to understand that it matters where you generate your leads from.
Mm,
Meaning, like if you go to a third party website, or like a
yeah,
lead gen provider,
right.
like what, like Clean Energy Experts, Home Advisor, right? Solar Reviews, right? Like if you go to a site like that, if you go to a lead gen provider like that, and you're going to get leads from them, right? And let's say you don't buy exclusivity, which is like they charge you premium prices for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you will be competing with other people. And the premise of regular people going on the website to leave their information so they can be contacted by multiple companies. So what happens is people enter their information expecting more than one company to call. And at that point, you want it or not, you're entering a race to the bottom most of the time, because
Right.
there's at least 3 to 5 companies. They're gonna lowball each other to make sure someone wins. It's like
Right.
an auction, but the other way around, like driving the prices down, like who's able
Right.
to do it cheaper, the cheapest, right?
Yeah.
And that's just, again, not a good way to do business. And I don't believe in that business model. I don't think anyone watching this video should, um, because it's terrible. And but when you do, if you want to be able to, find the right customer and be able to charge premium prices, you need to know where to look for that customer. And we know how to do that. That is specifically through social
Mm,
media. And a lot of people would ask why.
yeah.
And the reason why is because when we run Facebook ads, Instagram ads, uh, you know, YouTube ads, we catch people out of the blue. Some of them aren't even in the headspace thinking about
Right.
solar. They don't even
Right.
like most people don't even know what solar is, or they're very, very little, they have very little education on what solar is. Okay. Or the
Right.
wrong, most of the time, the wrong education on solar.
Right.
And so, if they have any, and so all it takes is for us to get their attention online and to sell them on the reason why they should give us their details. And when they do that, you the salesperson, it's your job to be able to sell them at the price you want to sell them at, and while building the most amount of value. And guess what?
Mhm.
These people aren't expecting calls from other companies. As far as they know,
Yeah.
you're the only company, right? Because you're talking
Yeah.
right now. And
Yeah.
so
I mean,
that
you,
sets you up for success alone.
yeah.
The like it's very important where the leads are coming from. Am I right?
Yeah. No, it is. It is important. It is important. I mean, you do get your from time to time. It's not perfect every day. You do get your guys that are our shoppers that
Yeah,
are
yeah, for
clicking on
sure. I mean, you can't
every ad.
eliminate those
But for the
completely.
most part, yeah, for the most part, you are getting like I had an appointment yesterday that we're closing, and she said, what'd she say this or yesterday? She said, yeah, I wasn't even looking for it. You guys popped up on my feed, and I guess, oh well, I guess I'll learn about it. Right. And the cool thing too about having like a process, like you said, it's the salesman's responsibility to take that lead and do what we
Yeah.
do with it. And that's the truth. It is. And it's amazing when you have a process that works. Like I talk about all the time, having one kick that you've know has been used to 10,000 times and it works.
Mhm.
Like, this woman who's like, yeah, I was doing nothing and I saw your ad and it popped up, and I guess I figured this, why not take a look at it? Like, not even interested, not looking for solar, not at all interested, right? And the whole time she's telling me I'm not going to buy, blah blah blah. I've actually had two people. Actually, I just uploaded a new close video to my program of a guy that we just closed on Monday, who the whole way through, you're not going to close me, you're not going to sign me up. I don't want the like. These guys talk this way because they're not looking for solar. They really aren't. They just popped up on their Facebook ad. But when you have a process that works, like a laser on butter, it just works. You take them through that process, and these people sign up, and those are going to be your deals that are going to be a lot of the times are going to be your stickiest deals. You're going to make the most money in those deals. They're going to refer people because they actually respect you, right? If you've got a process that shows value, they're more than happy to pay your price. These are people who pay for quality, right? If you find somebody who's clicking every ad, shopping around, that's probably not your customer. Probably not. You're
Right.
probably looking for the person who's not looking for you. And they
Mhm.
need you to not be a salesman, but to be a professional and have a solid process in how you communicate this opportunity to them so they can make a good decision for their home and their family, right? Like
Mhm.
what we do is not salesmen at all, to be honest with you. Like, like we don't get paid to be salesmen. We get paid to be communicators. I completely believe with all my heart that everyone's going solar, right? Because everything that we're using today is old. I think it's just going to take a long time because we have to build a whole infrastructure around it. But eventually, there's going to be a way bigger volume of solar than the 1% we have today or whatever it is, right? It's very very small, very minute. That's the crazy thing is like it's so like the percentage of solar in America and the world is so low, right? The opportunity is so huge.
There's still 74 million homes that need to go solar.
It's huge. The opportunity is huge, and we need
It's
to
insane.
capitalize on that. We need to earn what we're worth, and we need to capitalize on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So I think that will I mean, I don't know what else needs to be said on the pricing aspect, but I think that really
Yeah.
sums it up. And
Yeah, man. I think people don't need to get confused from, like you don't need to gouge people. Like I don't believe in doing that. I believe in providing quality service to the customer. And if I know that this customer is going to need certain things, I'm going to include that so the deal is paid for.
Right.
right? I don't want
Exactly.
I don't want this customer having multiple decisions to make. I don't want them to be corrections. It should
Yep.
be just like when you sit down with them at the table, you promise them, hey, I'm your guy. I'm gonna take care of this. This is how the process is gonna work. It's gonna be smooth.
Hmm.
The second it's not smooth, people don't like bumpy, right?
Exactly.
People will look for, I've got a guy right now, been going through a company for 6 months and it's
Wow.
been bumpy the whole way and he's looking to relocate,
Huh.
right? And I'm not looking to just take somebody. I'm saying, hey, talk to them, exhaust all options before coming to me, right?
Hmm.
Because he's been with them for so long, they've worked his account, right? If he leaves,
Right.
they're I'm sure they spent money on his account already, like so he needs to figure it out. But companies do that. It's bumpy, and the reason why is because you've got people who are just selling price.
Right.
This is all about price. Solar is so much more than price.
Yep. So I think the takeaway from this call is to realize that solar is not just price. It's all about building value. And second thing is, I mean, it matters a lot if you don't want to sell on price, if you don't want to be the bottom feeder, like you need to know where to find those leads that are not looking for solar, because
Yeah.
those are the type of customers that will end up
Yeah,
paying
they'll be your
that will
favorite
end up
people to work
paying
with.
yeah, they'll be the best customers to work with, and
They'll
they'll
pay
be
for
able to
everything. Yeah.
make you the
Oh,
most
absolutely.
commissions too, right?
Absolutely. And you
And
need a process because a lot of people, if they are brand new and they get a lead who tells them, oh, I'm not doing it, or,
mhm,
I'm not looking for it. I'm just kind of speculating.
yeah,
Like a lot of people don't know how to take that and transition it into a, a signed contract, signed
right,
loan docs. Right.
right, right,
And
right,
so it's getting the right leads and having a right process to make that work.
for sure. And I think another thing as well is just before we wrap it up is it didn't really open up, that can of worms, but I think the reason why, I mean, you kind of mentioned it there, but I want to elaborate on why it needs to be a smooth ride and what exactly you mean by that. I mean, I know what you're talking about, so I can maybe explain it, or maybe you want to explain it, but it's pretty simple. Like basically, if you only make 3 grand on a deal, I'm only saying this, bro, for the new guys that are watching this video. Like if you're only
Right.
making 3 grand on a deal, for example, only 3 grand, and you have to change the main panel or some other stupid adder that comes out of the blue, in in
Yep.
in
Yep.
in 2 months from now. If you're only paying, if you're only getting 3 grand, for example, okay, and your adder is like 2,500, you're left there with literally a decision to send the customer a second agreement to sign, which will bump up their total amount of the loan, right? Or
Hmm.
lose that 2,500 and only be left with 500 commission, which
Right.
is pathetic.
Right.
And
Right.
that's the whole
Meanwhile,
point.
if you insulated it, if you charge a higher price, whatever it was that you did, right? Because you can either insulate or charge a higher price than to be
Exactly.
paid for. Right.
And having a smooth ride is basically being able to say, hey, look, this is all you need to sign right now. I'll never bother you again with documents,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
the boring part. The moment you go to someone again with more documents to sign, the
Yep.
moment you're letting him just second guess their original
Well, they've
decision.
got to make a new decision
Exactly.
because their decision is whether the terms are the same. Like maybe the terms are the same, but then you messed up the address.
Yeah,
And so they got to re-sign. Like that is a new decision.
it is.
You like when you submit a deal, like that's the thing. I mean, again, we're not like we'll talk about this next week maybe.
Yeah,
But when you submit a deal, it needs to be clean. Yeah, let's talk about that next week.
yeah, for sure.
People submit deals and they don't even get docs. They will leave a house saying that they closed a deal and they don't even have all the documents signed. They don't have a picture of their electric bill. They don't have a picture of the driver's license. They've
Right.
got stipulations on the loan. You didn't close nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. You need a clean deal submitted.
Yeah.
And there's a
That
very,
deal is getting ruined, like right there.
yeah, when your install partner sees a deal that's not clean when it gets submitted, you know what happens to it? Goes to the bottom of the list, not a
Yep.
priority.
Yep.
Priority because it wasn't a priority for you to make it clean. So why is it a priority
And the
for them?
longer you make your customers wait,
Yep. Cancels. Nobody
exactly.
wants to wait. Look,
Yep.
you can build yourself a 70-day timeline, right? Depending on, like depending on where you're at. But if you don't have a smooth process, people will leave. Like 70 days will come and go quicker than you think.
Yep. I agree
Yeah.
with that. So cool, man. I appreciate you being on the call, bro. Once
Yeah,
again to do
absolutely.
this video with me again. So we'll probably be back at it again for another one next week, and we'll have a different topic for you all. Obviously, sales and lead generation related. Maybe next week we'll talk about more on phone sales and selling from a distance, that kind of stuff. I think will be interesting for people
Yeah.
to touch
Yeah, we
on the
could do that.
subject.
Yeah.
But I appreciate every single one of you that are watching this video right now and have obviously watched it all the way through. If you like the content of the video, again, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to know about our lead generation process, there will be a link in the description down below to schedule a call with myself. And if you want to know about, Cale's system for closing from a distance, which I believe is genius, we'll leave a link in the description as well. So you can schedule a call with Cale. I believe that will be the second link in the description. So watch out where it says Cale, schedule a call with Cale, right? So again, if you haven't subscribed,
Yeah.
make sure you do by clicking the link down below, and we'll see you again on the
Yeah.
next.
We'll keep coming to you guys, keep supporting it, but appreciate you. Really do.
Thanks.
See you.